I guess it's on. Hey everyone, I'm Not Your Guy here, and I've been wanting to make this video for a long time. Like, since the Halo Master Chief Collection came out on the PC market. But before we start, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and also I do stream every Sunday and Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time over on Twitch. The link is in the description down below, along with the control settings and sensitivities and such that I use for both controller and mouse and keyboard in the Halo MCC. Now let's get started. Alright, I've been a Halo fan since CE, and as such, until about 3 years ago, I was a controller-only player, even on PC. Then I fully made the switch when I started getting into some games that required multiple key presses, stuff like Escape from Tarkov, where you use a lot of the keyboard in games like that, and it just wasn't possible on a controller, so I had to switch to stay competitive in those games. Since then, I've been growing, and I'm a diehard mouse and keyboard fan now. But should I be using mouse and keyboard in Halo MCC, or should I switch back to controller? So that is the question I set out to answer, and I wanted to share my answer with you and my experiences with you to help you make a better judgment on what you should be using as well. Keep in mind, I still am a massive mouse and keyboard supporter on PC. I love the way it feels. I hate the way a controller feels. It feels like I'm moving through water. So slow, sluggish. I feel like I'm behind everyone on it. All right, now I do have a few clips. I'm gonna put them up over there. The first set of clips is going to be when I was playing with a controller, and the biggest difference I noticed, and it's the same one that everyone always talks about, is the aim assist. Halo MCC's aim assist is a massively powerful tool to help out the players that have controller. Now you can see in a couple of clips, especially the first one, I overcorrected and still got, killed by the other player. But for the most part, your crosshairs, when your aim assist is on using the controller, they stay on that target pretty well. There's a couple of clips you'll see where the aim assist is doing its job and keeping me on track. It even, at one point, snaps to the enemy much faster than I could have with the mouse and keyboard. So the aim assist does help keep controller players competitive with mouse and keyboard players, but does it really give them an edge that makes the game unfair? Now, most of the clips there are demonstrating the aim assist, because that is the most noticeable part about using a controller, is that aim assist. Especially when you're at medium ranges and when you're playing a game like Precision Slayer and you start off with a battle rifle or a pistol, anything that can be easily tracked onto the head at the medium range, the aim assist is going to have a massive advantage over. Now, the one big downfall to a controller for me was the limitations of customizability. I'm using just a standard Xbox controller, not the Elite, nothing like that, so I'm stuck with using the Halo schemes and getting used to those. Well, I didn't like that answer. I like to keep my thumbsticks on while I'm doing things like melee and throwing grenades, so I did find a workaround that worked for me on it, and if you go into the Xbox accessory settings, you can actually swap bindings and stuff. So on the boxer control scheme, the left trigger is what does your melee, and then it switches your grenade throw to B, and your grenade switch to the bumper. I don't like having to switch with that. I'd rather switch with B and have my bumper throw grenade. So in the Xbox accessory app, you can flip those, and that worked out perfect for me. If you're moving to controller, I recommend playing around with the Halo settings, and then if you want something specifically changed, go into that app and adjust it from there. Now, that mostly fixed my one problem I had, which was being able to aim while meleeing and throwing grenades, which is what I can do on the mouse and keyboard pretty seamlessly. So with that all said, let's move over to the mouse and keyboard gameplay. Again, the obvious disadvantage in these clips is the lack of aim assist. You'll see that in the battle rifle shots, I miss at least one shot each time, almost every single time. A mouse and keyboard player just needs to have a much finer, better control over their crosshair placement while they're shooting. This game doesn't have much recoil for a lot of the guns, so you don't have to worry about readjusting your aim for the most part. But when it comes to having to do one extra click on a person versus someone who's using a controller, it makes a big difference. Now, being that that's really the only major disadvantage that I can see to using a mouse and keyboard, the advantages are quite nice. The biggest one is being able to completely customize how you play your game. I pretty much use just the keyboard for movement. That's it. I got my forward, backward, left, right, jump, and crouch. That's all I use on the keyboard. Everything else, I have hotkey to my mouse, all within reach of one of 3 fingers, and it makes it so seamless and fast to do things. My favorite thing about using the mouse and keyboard is I'm able to aim my grenades much more accurately on mouse and keyboard than I am with a controller. Part of that's due to the fact that you can snap your mouse around much faster than you can the thumbstick. So if I want to toss a grenade down this left hallway and run down the right hallway, I can pop that grenade and turn much quicker than I can on a controller, which is great. That leads into PC players, mouse and keyboard players, having a higher mobility than a controller player. Mouse and keyboard, like I said, you can snap around, you can move around faster. The controller, that's where it feels like you're running underwater. When you turn, it just moves so slow left and right. Even with a higher sensitivity, you run the risk of overcorrecting your aim a little bit. I do run with my controller at a slightly higher sensitivity, so I do overcorrect sometimes. Now, through the countless games I've played, switching back and forth between controller, mouse and keyboard, controller, mouse and keyboard, I've noticed that the way I play the game is very different depending on the input source I'm using. To give you an example, on controller, I'm a bit more aggressive at medium and longer ranges because that aim assist is going to help me keep locked onto a target. I do use grenades much less with controller because I'm more focused on keeping that aim on people. If I have the opportunity to use a grenade to maybe just drain someone's shields real fast or they're coming around the corner, then yeah, obviously use the grenades, drain the shield, get the easy kill. Now, if you switch over to mouse and keyboard, I'm a much more aggressive, in-your-face player. I'm going to be grabbing the shotguns more often, the automatic weapons more often. I even dual wield a lot more with mouse and keyboard because I have the ability to snap around, and basically, it's just a faster gameplay for me that way. I also noticed on mouse and keyboard I use grenades a lot more because I can more accurately throw them where I want. I can get them to ricochet off the surfaces the way I want. I can get them around objects the way I want. Something like that's just, it's not as easily doable on a controller as it is to a mouse and keyboard. Now, to say that one input method is always going to be better than the other is a flat out lie. I've heard players tell me, oh, you should be using a controller, you're going to get so many more kills, you're going to play so much better. No, that's not true. You need to be using whatever's comfortable for you. I am going to continue to switch back and forth between controller, mouse, and keyboard because I've noticed that depending on the game type and the situation I'm in, I'm better with one or the other in those situations. To give you an example, and I don't have any gameplay clips of this at the moment, but in a vehicle, driving it with the controller is so much easier. If you're in the Warthog turret, it's so much easier to stay locked onto an enemy with a mouse than it is with your controller. You just have that ability to flick. The auto aim isn't so prevalent when you're in a Warthog. You don't have it as much. Same with on the turrets or in SWAT games. The SWAT game type has no shield, so all you need is that 1 or 2 sweet shots to the head to down an enemy. In summary, neither one is really better than the other. It all depends on your playstyle. I want to encourage you to pick the game up, pick a controller up, give it a shot, see which one you like more, jump back and forth, adjust settings, find what works for you. Maybe you will like controller more than mouse and keyboard. Maybe you'll like mouse and keyboard more than controller. That is up to you. One is not better than the other in Halo, despite what players will tell you. Just the important part of Halo and what it's always been about is having fun. So pick it up, have some fun. Let me know what you think of the video. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you want more videos like this, or if you want to chat in real time. Go check out my Twitch channel. Like I said, I stream every Sunday and Wednesday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Or down in the description, there'll be a link to my Discord. It's the I'm Not Your Guy community. A bunch of gamers get on there, a variety of games. If you want to drop in there, maybe you can jump into a game or two with me and some of the guys. So if you have any thoughts or any feedback you want to leave me down in the comments, please feel free to do it. Just make sure to keep it classy, no negativity down there, and I'll catch you all later. Bye.